Hour number 2 of the program. Got you for another 20 minutes or so. We'll pass things off. ASU women's basketball. Jeff Munn on the call. Pre-game starts at 12:30. Tip is at 1 o'clock. We've got you until then. And I do want to get back into the Cardinals. And we've got a show tomorrow, and then we're off on Wednesday. And so we'll get more into what's next for the Diamondbacks now that they got Corbin Burns. And we'll get into what's next for the Phoenix Suns here as we get closer and closer to the midway point of the season. But the Cardinals feel extremely fresh for a lot of us because it was just a couple weeks ago that they were in a playoff race. And it felt like it dissolved so quickly. And it evaporated so fast. And it just became a nightmare. Overnight, it went 6-4. 6-4 at the bye week. They are now 7-9 with one game to go. They will not have a winning record this season. They will not be playing in the postseason. They will not have taken advantage of a wide-open NFC West this year that saw the 49ers not be able to get out of their own way, a Seattle team that was just begging somebody to take it from them, and the Rams being the pesky, veteran-laden group with just an experienced head coach and a quarterback who is just underrated and doesn't get enough love, and they're just there, and they just took all the blows early, and then they got hot, and they are playing some scary, scary football right now. The Cardinals missed on that opportunity. And there's no guarantee that next year the 49ers aren't going to come roaring back. There's no guarantee that the division is going to set up exactly the way that it did last year as an open opportunity for the Cardinals. In fact, you would bet on the opposite. You would bet on it being more of an uphill battle for the Cardinals to be playing meaningful football in December with the playoffs on the line. Look at Washington. Out of things last year. They changed head coaches, they drafted the quarterback, and boom, 11 wins in the playoffs. That quickly, they turned it around because they have the coach and they have the quarterback. They check both of those boxes, and they win 11 football games. You don't accidentally win 11 football games. Philadelphia, Detroit, Minnesota's not going anywhere anytime soon. The Bucs are kind of locked into who they are with Baker, but they might be a double-digit win team by the time it's all said and done. Atlanta flirted with the division, flirted with a double-digit win season, with Kirk Cousins not playing very well for them, and then they turned it over to a rookie. Those teams are not going anywhere. Dallas isn't going anywhere. I didn't even mention Green Bay, and they're going to probably win 11 games or so and be the second or third wild card team. All of those teams are going to be around next season, or at least we're going to go into the season expecting those teams to be relevant. Now, the NFL works in mysterious ways, and these things kind of play themselves out over the course of the season, but you want to have a seat at the table. I'm here to let everybody know. I don't know if there's enough seats. The Lions have a seat. The Eagles have a seat. Vikings certainly should have a seat, as long as they keep Sam Darnold. The Packers have a seat. The Commanders have a seat. Now, some seats are further down at the table. They're not in front of the main course, right? When it called the kids' table. You might put the Commanders there for right now. Show it to me more than once. You might put the Bucs there. I'm just not sure. Bunch of teams you might put at the kids' table. But they've got a seat at the table. I don't think the Cardinals have a seat at the table right now. And I don't know what they can do to earn that seat at the table. Because if they're just going to run this back next season, still Jonathan Gannon, still Kyler Murray, still Drew Petzing, and they're just going to run this coaching group back, and they're going to stick with their quarterback, and they're just going to hope it gets better, then they don't deserve a seat at the table. Something has to change. You have an offense that seems out of sync on a too much of a regular basis. You have a rookie wide receiver who not until week 17 showed you everything that he can be. That's the game that we've been waiting to see from Marvin Harrison Jr. That's the consistency that we want to see over the course of 17 games. And look across the NFL. Look at what Brian Thomas Jr. is doing. Look at what Malik Neighbors is doing with that quarterback play in New York. Look at what Brock Bowers is doing. You can be a rookie pass catcher in the NFL and get to 1,200 yards and score a bunch of touchdowns. And Marvin Harrison Jr. isn't going to come close to that, and he was the first skill player off the board. That's a problem. You want to assign blame? We want to do the blame pie? You want to blame Marv for some of that? Fine. You want to blame Kyler for some of that? Fine. Petzing? Sure. There's blame to go around. But something has to change. If you want the development and the growth and you want to reach the heights that this team is trying to reach, guess what? You got to change. And to me, the easiest thing to change, the easiest move to make would be to make a change at offensive coordinator, because the quarterback conversation, I think, is too difficult. I think the money's too much. And I think there are too many logistical hurdles to overcome to make that move happen this offseason. And so you make the change of play caller. You see how that works. And then if it doesn't, now you know, okay, we're moving on from Kyler after 2025. Me personally, I would push every lever possible to move on from Kyler Murray. I'm good. I've seen enough. You know what? Producer Corey, you got room in that notebook where our other declarations are? Is there room there to jot some stuff down here?
Absolutely.
So we have December 16th, 2024, Phoenix Suns first round exit in the playoffs. I'm done with the Phoenix Suns. December 30th, 2024, we're going to sneak one in here at the buzzer before the end of New Year, the end of the year and the new year. I'm done with Kyler Murray. I've seen enough. I'm good.
All right, no Kyler for 2025 for you personally.
I'm good. I am not going to walk into 2025 if Kyler Murray is under center and expect the Arizona Cardinals to be in a playoff race. I have seen this story too many times. Too many years have gone by. And if you want to throw at me, well, we don't really know. At this point, the fact that we don't know should tell us that we know what the ceiling is for this team. They don't come through in big games. They struggle against the division. And this mainly is associated with Kyler because that oversees two GMs, two coaches. Kyler's been here under both Cliff and now Gannon, Time, and now Otzenfort. And he has a track record that tells me they are not going to be able to break through. And if you are not willing to look at this and look at these numbers objectively and say something has to change and it probably needs to be the quarterback, then I don't know what your realistic expectations for this franchise ought to be. They had a chance. They were 6-4 at the bye week. Had no business being 6-4, by the way, with all the injuries and everything. But they were. They were 6-4 because they were gritty. They were tough. They found ways to win. But they have an offense that's predicated on running the football, and it feels the moment anything happens to James Conner, the entire offense forgets how to play football. That's not how you win in 2024. Guess what? The Chargers are what the best version of the Cardinals is probably what the Chargers are. But guess what? The Chargers have a quarterback who can sling it all over the football field. Go look at what Justin Herbert's been able to do under Jim Harbaugh in year one. Yeah, they like to run the football. Yeah, they like to lean on their defense. Yeah, they like to play that old school brand of football. They like to do all of that. They also have a top 10 quarterback in the league. Probably a top 8, top 6 quarterback in the league. And he's putting up the numbers to show it. Kyler Murray's not doing that. This offense isn't doing that. And so you can be that way. You can have that type of offensive structure, but you have to get the quarterback play. And down the stretch, when it mattered the most, they didn't have that type of quarterback play. And so change needs to come to the Arizona Cardinals because I'm not going to accept, and I know you're not going to accept it either. You're not going to accept this franchise running things back next year. Because why should we expect, maybe you sign T. Higgins, right? Maybe you go out and get another target on offense. You use your first-round draft pick, and you get a pass rusher, and you spend some free agency money because we know you got a ton of it, and you're able to rework it. But at the end of the day, you want to win in this league. Look at the teams that are in the playoffs. You want to win in this league, you need the quarterback play. And right now, December 30th, 2024, we are going on record, the Cardinals don't have the quarterback play. They don't have it. And until they admit that, and until they make the change, then this team's ceiling is what we saw this year. They might be able to do it in spite of their quarterback play, but when push comes to shove, and you got to beat the Rams, and you got to beat the 49ers, who are probably going to be better next year, and you got to beat the Seahawks, and you have to play all these good teams across the NFC, it just doesn't feel like they are going to be able to get over that hurdle.